Lanka's point of view. 14 runs off it, 297 for 8. .357 for 3. What batting it was earlier in the day. But Sri Lanka, even though they've been losing wickets, have tried to keep abreast. Pavan Ratnayaka, the star. 61 off 30. Last over for Liam Dawson. He's been pretty good today. 1 for 47 for him. Last ball of last over. Again bouncing up nicely. Tries to go big. He works the angles nicely. Wide of the crease, close to the crease. Subtle variations for Liam Dawson. The field for him, 3 in the deep on the leg side. The sweeper cover on the boundary and long off. Just an orthodox field. For Dawson, long off, pretty wide there. What does Jeffrey have in mind? Oh, he had a couple of options in his mind. He hadn't decided.
Yeah, I think Dawson followed him rather well. So the couple of options soon became none.
Slower as well. Oh, Jeffrey. Oh, too good, too good. Dawson, very clever.
Yeah, we've had paces of 93.3 Ks, 78.6, 94.5. So that's the variation of speeds. That gives you flatter trajectory. It keeps the batsman guessing. If you want to try and get those big shots away, you want to sort of have an idea in your mind of how soon, how quickly it's going to arrive at your end. So the change of pace is one of the great weapons.
Right in the block hole too. Get underneath that if you can. Well, just the 1 run off the 3 balls. What has he in store now? Oh, down the ground. Sam Curran getting underneath it. Takes it. He's toyed with Bandersay and he's got the wicket.
Yeah, the problem down the order of trying to keep this ridiculous momentum going tends to end in this sort of fashion. It's been mentioned earlier in the day, it's quite a good sized ground. This boundaries are well set back. And if you don't get hold of it, the simplest of chances are taken. So this time it was Sam Curran underneath it, didn't quite get there, so it was a stretch at the end. You cannot get power into the shot from that position. Curran judges it beautifully, takes the ball with his hands in front of his chest, and the despair is etched on those faces in the crowd. It's 9 down now for 298, Bandersay gone to 14.
They've tried Sri Lanka, but you've got to say 357 on the board. England had pretty much battered Sri Lanka out of it. A couple of balls remaining in Dawson's spell, 2 for 48. Asitha Fernando, look at that average. Looking to survive for Ratnayaka to probably face another delivery. Bowled that a lot slower. Reaching for it, Jeffrey. That's all he could do, get it as far as Sam Curran. 2 for 48 after staying Dawson. 298 for 9. 300s in the game. Wickets for all English bowlers, sharing 2 apiece. Sam Curran. Pretty quiet series for Sam Curran. Not a lot to do.
It's been a quiet series for most of the people who claim to have any sort of pace, hasn't it? Seam up hasn't exactly been the order of the day, has it?
Batted in the first game, watch the others bat in the second and third. He's got that away, nicely played. 300 on the board for Sri Lanka.
Well, on either of the 2 previous pitches, that would have been a magnificent score, 300. But this pitch today has played so much better, and the cricket has been of a very, very different character. Some sort of consolation, but let's face it, England's score up at 357, still a long, long way away.
Well, I'd like to go back to that second game. After the game, we felt Sri Lanka were 20-30 runs short in putting real pressure on England, and that allowed England to lift their head up. And Captain said conserving energy in pushing for runs and running between the wickets. Finer points, David. That's high in the air. Fielder at mid-wicket. Oh, does really well. He's done wonderfully well. The batter's come back for 2. Jacob Bethel, I believe he saved 4 for his team.
Yeah, it's amazing the brilliance we see on the edge of these fields nowadays. We've seen examples earlier in the day. Even if someone concedes that actually catching the ball and staying in control to complete the catch is impossible, just to be able to at least get hands on the ball, get it back in the field legally, takes a lot of skill, a lot of athleticism. Might just have landed badly there. The runs on the board on a much better pitch put England in an unassailable position, as it turned out. The response at the top of the innings from Sri Lanka was exciting, was electrifying, and certainly provided a lot of entertainment. But these sorts of totals are always so tough to get close to. So for Sri Lanka, a rare series.
On your faces, and that makes a big difference in how you feel and how you approach the game. Sri Lanka, though, a lot to ponder around. How do we get consistency? How do we follow up on very good performances day in, day out? Their first home series defeat since July 2021, that was against India. That's unbeaten in 12 home series. Well, that's come to an end. Pavan Ratnayaka, a shining light, a new hero, if Sri Lanka was looking for one, seems to have found one. What a quality innings that was. The way he played himself in, accumulated those runs, and also showed that when needed, he can find the boundary.
Yeah, the difference between the two sides today is that for Ratnayaka, yes, a personal milestone, first ever ODI 100, and he'd be proud of that. He played very well indeed. It was a very, very fine performance. However, not enough support in the batsmen of the top order around him. Yes, as I said, there was the electrifying start. Then in the middle order, things fell away again. He kept it going, yes, and that is very much to his credit. For England, of course, they had everything going their way on a pitch that provided more opportunity to play their shots. The final margin of victory up on the big screen, 53 runs, that's comfortable, and this is the way it finished. Rarity nowadays in many ways, seeing the perfect Yorker, but for Curran, just a moment of personal satisfaction for him at the end of a relatively quiet series.
Harry Brook, what a wonderful knock it was, and leading the team from the front. They took it easy. It was not all about coming out there and bashing the ball to all parts. First 10 overs, just the 40 runs. They set the foundation right and quietly put the foot on the pedal. They realized soon that they're going to need a few more runs to put pressure on Sri Lanka, and that they did. Well, congratulations all round to England on the series win, and for Sri Lanka's point of view, to Pavan Ratnayaka, making his maiden ODI 100.
Well, we've seen a lot of runs today, comfortably more runs today compared to the previous two games in this series. Sri Lanka finishing on 304. So Ratnayaka's 121, he was locked out, the outstanding contribution. He is indeed the key performer in that Sri Lankan innings. Great start from Nisanka. He and Mishara went off like express trains at the top of the order for that first wicket, but the pressure was always on. And then the relatively low scores in the rest of the order just prove a point that Sri Lanka need a little bit more, in fact a lot more, out of that middle order. For England's bowlers, well, there's a whole mixture of figures here. Overton too, it's expensive. Dawson in the end is apparently ranked the best bowler, 248, more consistent than in fact any of the other spinners. The likes of Jacks get more turn, but huge variety, not always intended. And anyway, England will be happy enough with the fact that they've done the job and won the series.
Blistering start from Sri Lanka, Pat Nisanka. That was the very first delivery. Mishara as well. The runs were flowing. They actually did what was required at that stage. Get Sri Lanka into the game. The moment spin was introduced, Mishara fell. Kusal Mendis came out. There was no stopping the Sri Lankan batters. That's what it felt like, but they found ways to keep getting out. Nisanka went for a well-made half-century. Pavan Ratnayaka promoted to number 4. Just could not find a partner at the other end as the wickets kept falling.
Yeah, it was the Ratnayaka show for sure. He uses his feet so well. This run out was one of those horrible things that really destroys any sort of momentum. Still hope was kept alive. However, the shots that were chosen sometimes caught betwixt and between, neither over the top nor on the ground, so the catch is going to mid-wicket on a regular basis. England spinners doing what they could to maintain some control, but in the field, the odd slip up as well. These are things that England will look at, actually, trying to find out ways of getting even better. They're on the right sort of track. And this one was held in the end by Will Jacks, although not quite judged perfectly. And it's all a question of just keeping the dream alive for Sri Lanka. Ducky catching one, but damaging his hand at the same moment. He dropped a couple before that, so he then left the field. Sam Curran steady at long off, and the final delivery from Sam Curran as well.